Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into international business operations, looking at the material you sent over.
Yeah, it's all about why companies decide to go global, isn't it? And, how they manage it all.
Exactly. The sources cover the motivations, the methods, the factors, lots to unpack. Our mission here is to really boil it down for you.
Okay, so maybe start with the why. Your sources really hammer home that it's about boosting value, finding opportunities outside home base.
Right. And a core concept there seems to be comparative advantage.
Comparative advantage. It's like countries focus on what they do best.
Okay, so Bermuda and tourism, they're great at that.
Exactly.
So they focus there. And that lets them say, import cars, things they don't make themselves, play to your strengths, trade for the rest.
Perfect example. Then you've got imperfect markets.
Imperfect markets.
Yeah,
So things aren't always freely available everywhere.
precisely. Resources might be stuck in one place. Maybe regulations block free trade. So companies have to look internationally.
Like that high-tech components example in the materials.
Yeah.
Needing specific parts from Asia, from Europe.
Yeah, and they're facing price hikes now, looking for new partners. It shows the risks, right? Relying on just a few international sources can be tricky.
Definitely highlights the challenges.
And there's also this product cycle theory. It's kind of a natural path.
How does that work?
Well, a company gets bid at home, starts exporting, then foreign competition pops up.
Okay.
So eventually, they might need to actually set up operations in that foreign country to compete better, maybe differentiate themselves.
Makes sense. So, all right, how do companies do international business? What are the methods?
Well, the obvious ones are exporting and importing, basic international trade.
Sure.
But then you get into things like licensing. Your source mentioned Wireless Inc.,
Right.
letting a Mexican company use its cell system tech.
Right, for a fee. And franchising is similar.
Kind of. Like Flip a Burger in Peru, they provide the brand, the training, support, again, for a fee.
Gotcha. What else?
Joint ventures, that's where two companies team up. Pooling resources, like Engulf and Devour Foods, and that French company Chez Brûlé.
Exactly that. They each bring different strengths to the table to crack a new market.
Okay. And then there's just setting up your own shop overseas.
Yep, direct foreign investment or DFI. Building subsidiaries abroad. And related is global sourcing, coordinating the whole manufacturing chain across countries.
So lots of ways to do it, but it's not just about the business model, right? The sources talk a lot about external factors.
Oh, absolutely. Political and legal stuff is huge. Potential for asset expropriation.
Meaning the government could just take the company's assets.
It's a risk, yeah.
Okay.
Plus taxes, tariffs, rules about ownership, maybe even how much local content you need to use.
Wow. And economic systems differ too.
Big time. You've got centrally planned economies, more market-driven ones like the US or Japan.
And those conglomerates you mentioned, the Japanese curettes.
Right. These integrated groups of companies, very different structure than you might see elsewhere, maybe due to different regulations.
Fascinating. What else? Culture. You cannot underestimate culture. Shared values, attitudes.
Like individualism versus collectivism.
Exactly. Or how comfortable people are with uncertainty. Short-term focus versus long-term. Even views on hierarchy.
Yeah, how much people accept formal leadership differences. That varies a lot.
Hugely. And then the practical stuff. Technology, infrastructure, communications, transport, power, even accounting standards can be vastly different.
So many variables. Which I guess leads us straight into the inherent risks.
For sure. Exchange rate risk is a constant headache. Transaction risk, economic risk, translation risk. Currency fluctuations are a major factor.
Affects profits directly.
And the general health of the foreign economy matters. Foreign demand for your product depends on their economy.
Right. And things like interest rates, inflation over there.
Yep. Higher interest rates might mean slower growth. Higher inflation eats away purchasing power for imports. Exchange rates, again, a weak local currency makes imports expensive.
It's all interconnected. And finally, there's political risk.
Yeah, this is the non-economic stuff. Bureaucracy, corruption, sudden shifts in government policy or consumer attitudes. Maybe the currency suddenly becomes non-convertible or even, war.
So putting it all together, international business is really this dynamic interplay, isn't it?
It really is. You're pursuing value, trying to leverage specialization or access resources or markets.
But you're constantly navigating these different methods, these powerful external factors, economic, political, cultural, and all those inherent risks.
It's a complex balancing act.
So for you listening, the takeaway isn't just about multinational corporations. Think about how this interconnectedness plays out everywhere.
Yeah, how do these global flows of Goods, capital, ideas. How do they actually touch your own life, maybe even your local economy?
What global forces are subtly shaping your world? Something to ponder after this deep dive. Until next time.